You don't have to pay per hour or setup fee. We like to pay per transfer, or in some instances pay per lead. So that's the beauty of our product, is we do take the responsibility of coming up with a bundled offering, and specifically you'll see that when I get into the loan modification in more detail. Okay, so now on to what everybody is waiting for, specifically the loan modification transfers. So, what is loan modification? I'm sure, most of the folks on the call know what it is, but there's been a lot of talk about it the last 6 months, maybe a year, and Doublepositive has tried to come out with, after getting some experts involved in the industry, to come out with the best possible product, qualified, that we can have, put it in your hands to make you run with it and increase your sales. So first step is consumer fills out a mortgage application to refinance. Step two is we're only going to take subprime folks who have had a mortgage payment late. So they could be behind on 1 or 2 payments, but they've had a late, and they've specified that online when they filled out the application. Step 3 is you received a live call, and you want to speak to somebody, or the consumer wants to speak to you about their options. All right, so as I mentioned, on the data, we will be able to verify that they have bad credit. We're only going to send consumers over that have filled out, fair or poor on the application. They have to have acknowledged that they have had a late payment, at least one, and they are currently employed. We don't want to send over folks on disability or SSN or unemployed. What are we going to do on the script? Once we take that data lead that I just told you about, we are going to feed it to our call center agents in real time, and we are going to make sure the first step is, are you interested in speaking to someone about your mortgage options at this time? Now, if you notice, folks, in the script, I specifically said mortgage options. I did not say loan modification. The biggest mistake I think that some of our competitors make, or is to plant in the mind of the consumer that loan modification is the only option for them. Remember, these folks are filling out an application for a refinance. So as a mortgage broker, your job should be trying to put the consumer in the best product, meaning if they can qualify for an FHA loan, most likely, I think you all will agree, that is the best bet to try to put them in an FHA product. If they don't, then modifying the loan probably makes sense. So that's why we say to them, would you like to speak to somebody in regards to mortgage options? Because there's no language on the form that they're filling out about loan modification. It's a refinance. And if you can put them in an FHA product, that's great. If not, then loan modification is going to be the next best option, because again, they've had a late payment, they are employed, and it makes sense to try to modify their loan so they can save their home and they don't need to lose it to foreclosure. Are you currently employed? Obviously, we want to make sure that they are employed, and we are going to ask them that over the phone. We want to, keep you folks as most productive as possible by eliminating the folks that are on SSN or unemployed, so forth, disability. That's not who we're trying to send over to you. The chart that I referenced a little while ago that I just wanted to reiterate, and the speed to contact that I think that really is the major selling point that Doublepositive likes to brag about, is as soon as the consumer fills out the form on the web, we contact them back within seconds. Now, a transfer may take place within seconds or a minute of when they filled out the form. And as if you see, this study is from MIT, Kellogg School of Management, which is one of the best business management schools out there. And if you see that this is a true study, and I can forward this slide to and to anybody that would like to look at it, but the quicker you dial these consumers, the higher probability, in fact, 20% higher probability that you are going to close a loan than somebody contacting that lead 20 minutes later. As you can see, the closing ratio, trends down. as you look at the time horizon, it goes way down. So our point and our proof of concept and our product here, folks, is all about dialing on records in real time, making sure that, because these folks, like we mentioned a little bit a while ago, these folks are afraid. They're scared. They don't want to lose their home. And if we can contact them back as soon as they filled out the form, that's our highest probability of getting them on the phone. They're going to be dodging calls after that because they're afraid that it's the bad call that they don't want to receive. So that makes you feel better knowing that we took this lead, called it, qualified it, and then able to transfer it to you in real time within seconds of them filling out the form. And it's exclusive. It's directly to you. We're not going to transfer it to anybody else, and that's guaranteed in our contract. And we want to make sure that you understand that we're not going to take this data and give it to anybody else. Could you do it on your own? Again, dialing on subprime data is the biggest challenge to anybody right now, whether you're doing FHA or loan modification, or even debt settlement, which is another product that's outside of mortgage that is a very hot product over the last year or so. That essentially, is hard to dial on because there's a lot of resistance from the consumers as they, are afraid to pick up the phone. That is the end of my presentation. The only thing that I wanted to, just remind folks is that, and then I am going to announce a special here for the folks that have stayed on the line that do want to give us a try. That the time horizon for these folks is essential in trying to get this done. So our process is to make sure that they are genuinely interested, alive, live right there, ready to speak to you, and all calls are recorded. We want to make sure that you get to listen to the recording. We didn't push the consumer into the process, that this is the best bet for them to speak to a specialist in regards to their mortgage options. Licensing is right now, from my understanding and talking to a couple industry leaders, that there is no licensing requirements for loan modification, at least not yet. And when I say that, I mean I watched that settlement over the last year or so go from unregulated in most states to now each state has its own regulations on debt settlement. Now, debt settlement is when you are, for those folks that don't know, it has nothing to do with a mortgage. It means that basically you are eliminating or reducing your credit card debt, and the credit card company is settling for 50 cents on the dollar or 60 cents on the dollar, but they are going to eliminate your or part of your debt and allow you to make a monthly payment and so forth. My point is that business was not regulated, and it now is on a state-by-state regulation. I think we all can agree that the events that we've gone through over the last couple of years, government is going to get involved with loan modification. As of right now, it is you can do business in all 50 states. And we encourage you to do that until you feel that you are not doing something that is out of your core. If you are a mortgage broker, you are licensed, and you do business in these states, then feel free to take the transfers from us from those states. I would ask you not to take the states that you don't feel comfortable doing business in because you just want more volume. It doesn't make sense. So make sure that ethically you do business in that state the right way, and you'll win out. So if the regulations come down the line, you can say you've done best practices. So what I'd like to do is open it up if you guys have any questions. The special that I'd like to announce today is I would like to offer anybody that signs up today after the webinar, and I can see if you're registered, I'd like to offer a 10% discount to any folks that would like to, give us a try. The first sign up, I will actually give 20%. So if you buy, it's an add-on. So if you buy 20, I'll add on 4. If you buy 100, I'll add on 20. Then any subsequent sales from today, I'll add 10% bonus on, and I'll carry this through tomorrow as well. So any folks that have registered for the webinar, that have attended today, that would like to take advantage of our special, first person that signs up gets a 20% bonus. Anybody subsequent signs up today will get a 10% add-on.